Hello, this is Star Television. Welcome to our top stories, making a local news bulletin. I am Leonora Jawara. First, we have a look at the headlines. Chief of Defense Staff of the RSLAF, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun, has said he is passionate about ensuring the continued credibility and democratic accountability of the Republic of Sierra Leone and forces.
And especially during August 10, where a lot of people insinuate.
West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network concludes conference on countering threat to democracy in West Africa.
I think we should begin to think along the lines of what civil society, what citizens can do.
We shall take a look at the effects of sand mining as one of the factors of environmental degradation across Sierra Leone.
I will do this for do this story. I hope see we'll not follow this. Every day we will do this, we're not glad really. But any carry pass will do.
And now the news in detail. The Chief of Defense Staff of the Republic of Sierra Leone Forces, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun, has said he is passionate about ensuring the continued credibility and democratic accountability of the RSLAF, while maintaining the flexibility of the force to deliver on its defense mission and military task. Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun made this statement at his maiden address to troops in the western area on Friday, September 30th at the River Soki Beach. Our defense correspondent, Abdulrahman Kamara, reports.
While delivering his maiden speech to troops in the western area, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun, noted that he has set himself the path of his visionary leadership he may want to achieve through a set goal regarding the future direction of the RSLAF. He maintained that he is passionate about ensuring the continued credibility and democratic accountability of the RSLAF while maintaining the flexibility of the force to deliver on its defense mission and military tasks. Key among the areas where he addressed troops was on the prospective resumption of the peace support operations, challenges of accommodation for troops, something he says grossly undermined command and control in the army, with more emphasis on the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces and democracy. That is the role of the army in democratic dispensation.
First of all, I want to tell everybody thank you for the hard work. And especially during August 10, where a lot of people insinuate they decided to have money together, but I was confident that all of us are together. So, and all of us, while we are doing a very good job. Not so? Wow. People put everybody on standby. In fact, the point people say, these are some men over here. They don't go back. So I want to thank everybody for that effort. And that's it for me. Because this is the only hope we all get. And we are the last hope we're going to get. We also scatter, and also, but we not allow them to scatter. We recall, we tell the effects, we know how much that is coming also. I'm not sure anyone on the one already, you know so? I'm not sure anyone on the one where the family is so bad. Anyway, so IDP already, you know so? So I want to thank you for the bold step we take, for remaining together and not continue to remain together. This is the only country we get. This is the only army we get. This is the only hope we all get. Some of we also left school at a very young age, like me. I don't know that hope. So even if you take me today, it puts me in another civilian environment, I will be able to soldier because I don't want to be. You know, so we all try very hard. In spite of the challenges, if anybody tells you there are no challenges, they lie, they are. And that's what, as a commander, is not for shy away from. Me, not the life of anyone. I don't can't say I can't be catch people now. No. If I do that, I'll be deceitful. I will see that they deceitful. I don't do that. I'll tell you the great truth. But then how to manage young men are the most important thing as commanders. We have to manage problems, we have to manage challenges. So I want to thank you for we will remain together, we will work together, and we will continue to work together.
The Chief of Defense Staff of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Peter K. Lavahun, is a graduate of the Defense Institute of International Legal Studies. He extols civil-military relations in his continued effort to build on a mutual understanding, trust and respect that exist between the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces and its civilian counterparts. General Lavahun has attained several military courses, among which are Senior Command and Staff course from Ghana, National Security Strategy course at the International College of Defense Studies, African Cooperation for Decision Makers course in Egypt. General Lavahun is a veteran of the Sierra Leone Civil War and a proud recipient of several honors and awards, some of which are Commanders of the Order of the Rokel and Long Service and Good Conduct Medal. Abdul Rahman Kamal reporting.
In an attempt to quell down democratic backsliding and a reversion to autocracy in West Africa, the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network, a transitional civil society network, has concluded a conference on countering threats to democracy in West Africa. Moses Ojukamara was there and he files in this report.
The conference consisted of above 30 civil society organizations from 15 countries in West Africa. They converged in Accra, Ghana, to reinvigorate democracy and promote democratic norms and reforms in the sub-region. Topics formed part of the panel discussions were threats to state and regional peace and security in West Africa, ECOWAS response to presidential term limits, evasions, and unconstitutional changes of government in West Africa, civil society and citizens' response to democratic backsliding in West Africa. These, in row with other topics, were insightful.
I think a position from citizens, zero tolerance to coup. So we cannot be handpicking entry points. So citizens have their patterns of organizing and they can still stick to it. But the whole notion is that there's zero tolerance and we cannot say the parliament should continue or X or Y should continue. Most of these regimes are illegitimate and they rule the country by their standards and decrees that they set forth. And I think we should begin to think along the lines of what civil society, what citizens can do.
I think against civil society we can hold people's assemblies. I mean, we have to have alternative formations, civic formations that are not necessarily tied to the continuity of parliament. If there is a coup or if parliament is not serving our purpose, nothing within democracy or outside it stops us from congregating and in people's assemblies or however we call it, and passing even resolutions and things and just acting as if a parliament still exists. I mean, we should be able to just think outside the box in this situation and not basically feel like, oh, parliament's abolished, so we have no say or no voice.
Sweeney Hazma, Research and Programs Officer at Institute for Democratic Development, had an opinion about Wadimo's Project Objective Number 5, which seeks to support, encourage, and strengthen the status and visibility of various women and youth-led social movements in their pro-democracy advocacy.
One thing I loved about it was the fact that it's coming on board with youth, women, even bloggers who are mostly marginalized when it comes to issues of democracy. And I think it's a very good thing that Wadimos is going to do. I think it has a lot of impact as well. What I'll recommend is that Wadimos should try and sensitize the youth in whatever programs that we do. We get the youth on board and you try to also organize intergenerational dialogues so the youth get to know how they can be able to help civil societies to be able to push their agenda, especially Wadimos.
However, the primary objective of the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network, Wadimos, is to mobilize, coordinate and leverage the collective power of civil society and other pro-democracy actors, resources and opportunities within the region, including engaging collectively with ECOWAS and related regional bodies to help stem democratic erosion or breakdown in the region. Their vision is to see West Africa with a clear pathway to stability, peace, and democratic governance. From Accra, Ghana, reporting for Star Television News in Freetown, supported by Hassan Kuruma, I am Moses Ojukamara.
According to reports, sand mining leads to significant environmental impact. Let's take a look at the effect of sand mining as one of the factors of environmental degradation.
I no get money, right? I no get nothing. What you go with the eat with pikin? I get 9 pikin there. What you go with the eat? I no get them. Now I make her the pull sasa. Enemy come to woman suffer here this thing. Himself na the same thing. The sufferers no more me get na the same thing. All the woman then akunama. We dey really suffer. We dey broke stone. We dey do all kind hard work because of we no get property.
Sinomona na sansa oku dey do, and the sansa oku dey do. Then sangamara una siso na sangamara na 13, 12 step. So they are let's stick there. Then open so they get step there. They can't step there, so under they will go then 4, 5 father and they will go under, they will take sansa, this sansa. Will not get job for say will go do other job, will get money. Pass now, this whole can how they do. Let government try, let improve na job, law get time. No join job, law avoid this one attire. Just attire, oh they are, yeah, we die for 1, 2, 3 years, they cause blind, deaf, because the place is deep too much.
That's how I do, because at the student, I not get possible they help me. I do it for life to survive me and my picking. I'm married, but my back not get nothing, and you know when. But still, I still too much. I don't want 6 picking, and the picking I not get I not get mama, I not get papa. Let me do this.
Full na I do the family living. Na work na we not get other work na you today not get other work na only this and some work. But no other work not there around here. What you today do get money inside. So now the caliber. The work on under this water, we man that map so no more. But the people under this water, with the police and they will sell and do the eat and do the responsible for picking the government. Let make favor. Always say get working at this area where the youth go employ. They will go forget about this road. This road can work with risky. They just they do no more because of other way not there about the suffer inside. You not get machine where see they go under here so now skin die food for the suffer because of other work on there. So they appeal to the government. If any way they will happen at this area where they deploy the youth, then let they get work. We will go forget about this work about the very suffer and this water side.
Pass the government help we for will get a job because if other will do this for doing this story, I hope see we not follow this. Every day we do this, we not glad really. But any carry pass we do them. You see, we call like we family there. We be say they do them before. We great grandpa there. They don't let for do this work until they don't die. You see, then true from this they pay from their school fees. So although some of them they don't go further, but at least the one where they go further, they're not there. You see, everybody at the same work they do with go school. So we not say by God the power, if God make it possible for we left by this day at the end of the day, we achieve what we want. By the education, maybe we back with the left.
Before we sit down at all, we go thief, we go cause all that trouble, and make we decide for couple sasa, get with daily bread. Well, how for do? No get side forget. We dey manage your life here. I risk it place don't deep, or the risk we save, with the risk we life. For long get we live.
In case you've just joined us, this is the local news bulletin here on Star TV. Now, the Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Bokari Kaloko, at a one-day budget dialogue forum held at the New Brookfield Hotel in Freetown, calls for a systemic policy approach to prevent the build-up of vulnerabilities and reduce exposure to shocks, to absorb shocks when they do occur, and to recover rapidly and sustainably from these shocks through adaptation. The Budget Dialogue Forum was organized by Veritas Professional Services and Invest Sierra Leone, building resilience across economies as a whole. Abdulrahman Kamara reports.
Sector, according to Chukwu Emeka from Investor Loan, plays a critical role in maintaining and managing supply chain risks, promoting resilience through responsible business conduct, consultation, cooperation, and coordination between the private and public sector is needed, noting that government have a toolkit of policy options to promote resilience of global supply chain. Crises such as the global financial crisis in 2007 to 2009 and the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 demonstrate what can happen when crises become reality and resilience is put to the test in our globalized economies and societies.
A lot of that is about how we can attract investment into the investors and investment into the economy, domestic and foreign. It's also about supporting firms to become more productive and more effective. But importantly, it's also about strengthening the investment climate. And no better way to do that than through evidence-based dialogue between the public and the private sectors. And we particularly welcome the fact that this is the private sector that has taken the lead to engage key segments of government in this dialogue. Because what that suggests, and I think we should all welcome this, is that public-private dialogue is taking root across the economy, across society. And when you think about the role that government has to regulate and oversee the economy,
Global openness and integration, according to the Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Bokari Keloko, have brought important benefit to raise productivity gains, facilitate technology diffusion, and lift hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. Within such globally integrated economy, he maintained shocks, whether endogenous, such as the GFC, or exogenous, such as a pandemic, can rapidly turn into severe global economic downturns as impacts cascade through interconnected systems and sectors. He maintained that the country's economy and society face multifarious array of risks. Short acute shocks may be challenging to predict, while others may be the result of the chronic build-up of vulnerabilities, such as the impact of climate change or imbalance and distortions in markets, both of which are shaped by policy and regulatory choices.
I think are quite enticing, and this is what I'm talking about private sector. One of the things I will quickly request, and I will also, is to have a discussion with the poultry industry. It's very important. Kuyate, being a private sector contributor, I need to talk to the poultry industry. You know, what I'm saying is, about 3 months ago, I had the opportunity to go to Senegal. And trust me, what I saw there was amazing. So there is a strong need for me to look at the poultry people and discuss. All the other ones, at government level, I can tell you, there have been serious actions being taken.
Highlighting some of the challenges alongside heightening ambitious effort to tackle economic inequalities, the Deputy Commissioner General, National Revenue Authority, Madam Jeneba Bangura, noted that despite the improvement in the domestic revenue collection, there is need for more taxable avenues to meeting up the expectation of government spending.
You know, for me, this process is always welcoming. Every year when there's a budget process, you know, the private sector, we get to hear from you, you know. And I think it's important that during his comment, you mentioned that the benefits of this dialogue is, first of all, we come here with an open mind. So I am here representing NRA, and I come here with an open mind to just make sure that we listen to you. I am here to make sure that that relationship, a mutual relationship, no judgment, we understand, and we make sure that we take in what the private sector has to offer.
Pay to the NRA on behalf of this people, those taxes, this amount. And when such things are done, in other jurisdictions, you require a court order to do it. But here, you don't require a court order. You can just be instructed, the bank can just be instructed to take money out of my account and pay to NRA, because NRA says I owe tax. And in order to promote the rule of law, I think there is a better way to do it. If you want to garnish a bank account, you want to take money out of a bank account, I think it's better you go to court and the court grants you the order, and even NRA is covered with that.
Dr. Claudius William Tucker, Manager Veritas Professional Service, however, made a presentation on some of the challenging areas, which include the valuation of the loans, access to finance, GST, enforcement orders, as well as port-related charges, where he noted a huge duplicity of charges on import. such as destination inspection fees and cargo tracking fees. It is important to note that government could benefit from paying particular attention to the impact of reduced satisfaction and trust in democratic government in the resilience of their economies. Abdul Rahman Kamar reporting.
The Vice Chancellor and Principal of the Central University, formerly known as Canadian University of Modern Technology, Professor Bob K. Conte, has said the idea behind the rebranding of the university was taken under careful consideration with the approval of the University Board of Trustees, the University Courts, and all necessary governmental bodies, adding that the rebranding will not in any way affect the day-to-day running of the university.
Several reasons why the change. Quite a good number of people, when they hear Canadian University of Modern Technology, assume that the institution is being sponsored by the government of Canada. That is not the case. This is a private institution, wholly privately owned, and there is a board of trustees that is responsible for the day-to-day running of the institution at the top level. And also we have the academic board, which is mainly the Senate, that does the day-to-day academic affairs of the institution. So the change of name is informed by what I've just told you, that to clear the misconception that Canadian University was being sponsored by the Canadian government, which is not the case. The second reason is that wherever we went for assistance whatsoever, we were often told, well, you are being sponsored by Canada. What do you want assistance for? So we tend to hit a brick wall each time we went for any assistance from any institution or government. So we had that problem, to be viewed as a Canadian institution when Canada is not involved in any of our affairs. So we thought it's time for us to change, it's time for us to localize the name and bring it to Sierra Leone so that people can relate to it, so to speak. Now, there are several names that came into the picture, but we decided to settle for Central. We did not want an individual's name. We did not want an area, for example, Tonkolili or Mile 91, no. But we wanted something that would be more Sierra Leone friendly, and we chose Central. Central because we are centrally located, and you can access us from every part of the country. From Freetown is just 91 miles, as the address tells you. From McKinney is just about 40-something miles. From Bow is less than 60 miles, and so on. So we are centrally located. So east, west, north, south, we are centrally located. From Miami, it's just, I would say, a stone's throw. And then we are there to provide that centrality which we want for our institutions to show. And we want our students and our clients, so to speak, to be able to access the institution at any point in time. You can drive from Freetown to Mile 91 in less than 2 hours and come back, do any transaction, come back and go. If we had a very, very vibrant transportation system, somebody can live in Freetown, go to 91, attend lectures and come back without any problem. But because of the road network, once the road network improves, people can access that. And the centralness of the institution also provides us leverage to make sure that we provide good services, educational services for all our clients from every corner of the country. Dams have not changed. The buildings are still there. The facilities are still there. In fact, they are being improved. Nothing has changed. It's just the name. And being central, we couch the centrality in various perspectives. We want to be central to education. We want to be central to innovation. We want to be central with ideas to make sure that not only the educational sector, but the economy of this country improves in a way that we'll all be able to write home about. Send your kids to Central University. We have the facilities, we have the care, we have the faculty, and we have the programs to make sure that your kid graduates as a product that is ready for the market.
Well, those are the stories we have for you today in our local news bulletin 5. Many thanks for watching. I am Leonora Jaola. Do stay with us if you can and have a wonderful weekend.